Hello YouTube, this is Unger to the Max here. So, on my channel, you've probably seen that I've done game previews with other YouTubers where I have gone onto their channel to preview various Cleveland Browns games. Whether it was the game preview I did with NorbCam last season when the Seattle Seahawks came to Cleveland to play the Browns. Or the times I've done game previews with Gangrene David since the Browns and Jets seem to play each other so much. And guess what? They're playing each other again this season. So Gangrene David and I will probably be doing a game preview. And I've done a couple game previews with Ingraven Vids for when the Browns have played the Baltimore Ravens. But all of these previews have one thing in common. And that one thing is that I've always been a guest on their channel. They've never been a guest on my channel. And as much as I enjoy going on somebody else's channel and being a guest, trust me, I love it, you guys. I've always thought in the back of my mind, why can't I do the same thing? Why can't I bring NorbCam onto my channel for the next time the Seahawks play the Browns, which will be in 4 years? Or why can't Gangrene David come to Unger to the Max and do a game preview with me on my channel for when the Jets play the Browns this season? Well, guess what? I figured out how to do it. So, this season, I'm calling you out a little bit, Gangrene David. I want to bring you onto my channel to preview Browns at Jets. We can maybe do post-game on your channel, but for pre-game, I want to bring you on my channel. So, I'm calling you out a little bit, Gangrene David. But, even though the Cleveland Browns do not play the Carolina Panthers this season, I have a friend who lives down in Charlotte, and his name's Joe Harbasevich, and he's a huge Carolina Panthers fan. So, regardless of the fact that the Browns do not play the Panthers this season, I'm still going to want to bring Joe onto the channel, and we'll do a video discussing his thoughts on the Carolina Panthers. And I'll add my input because, again, I'm not a Panthers fan, but I do follow them. I do. Because I follow at least one team in every division. And the team I follow in the NFC South is the Carolina Panthers. So, I can talk Carolina Panthers with them. I think it's going to be interesting what their offense is going to look like with Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback. Matt Rule coming from college to the pros, which not many coaches have had success with. And they brought in Joe Brady to be their offensive coordinator. Of course, Joe Brady led that amazing offense at LSU last season. Who knows what LSU is going to look like this season on offense without Joe Brady and without Joe Burrow, who's going to presumably go number 1 overall to the Cincinnati Bengals. Anyway, so now that that part's out of the way, let's get into today's actual video. So, as you can see, based on the wall behind me, I like to collect memorabilia from stadiums. Like, I got the Warriors pennant you see right here, the 76ers pennant, and the Washington Wizards pennant, all at their arenas, while I was seeing the game. Because, again, in case you don't know, I have a lifetime goal to see a game at all 30 NBA teams' arenas. But the arena does not count unless I see an actual game, which is why I have to go back to Minnesota, because my dad and I had flown to Minnesota just to see the Timberwolves game. And we get to Target Center, we're in our seats, and the PA announcer comes out and goes, "We are sorry to inform you, but today's game has been canceled." The first canceled game in Timberwolves history. What are the odds that I was there? Yeah. Anyway, so there are some stadiums that are in each league, I would say, that are at the top of the bucket list. Like, I would love to go to that stadium someday. And I want to go through some of those. Starting with Major League Baseball. Number 1, by far and away, wapow! Wrigley Field, home of my favorite baseball team in all of Major League Baseball, without a doubt. The 2016 World Series champions, the Chicago Cubs. I am a huge Cubs fan. Yet, I've never been to a Cubs game. So, that is like at the top of the bucket list. Number 2, Fenway Park. I'm not a Red Sox fan. In fact, I pretty much can say I strongly dislike the Boston Red Sox. However, if I were to go to a Red Sox game, I would probably root for them just because I'm at Fenway Park. And I want to go to Fenway Park, see the Green Monster, the pesky pole, that little triangle area by the bullpens, and maybe sit in the Fenway or the Green Monster seats. Oh, it would be amazing. Number 3, Busch Stadium, St. Louis Cardinals. I know the Cardinals are the biggest rival of the Chicago Cubs, but as long as if I were to see a Cardinals game against the Cubs, yeah, I would root for the Cubs, no doubt. If I were to see a Cardinals game where they were not playing the Cubs, no, I still wouldn't root for the Cardinals. I would probably just stay neutral. But regardless, as a baseball fan, I would love to go to St. Louis. Let's see, any other stadiums that I would love to go to? Oh, Target Field, Minnesota. Not quite sure why this is a bucket list stadium for me, but it is. Alright, NFL. Number 1, by far and away, is CenturyLink Field. Oh my God, I would love to go to a Seahawks game at the Clink so badly. I don't want to have to wait 4 years, but the Browns will presumably be going back to Seattle in 4 years to play the Seahawks. That would be amazing. Number 2, Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City. Much like Seattle, Arrowhead Stadium is a noisy stadium. And I would love to go there and just be part of the crowd. And be part of the whole tomahawk chop of, oh, and be part of all the traditions and just feel that energy. Number 3, Lambeau Field. I mean, how can you be an NFL fan and not go, I need to go see a Green Bay Packers game at Lambeau Field? Number 4, I would say the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. This is a stadium Saints fans are some of the greatest fans in the NFL, without a doubt. At least in my opinion, they are. And they make so much noise and give the Saints such a home field advantage. Notice that all the stadiums I've selected except Lambeau Field are all about crowd noise. So, those are my bucket list for the NFL. For the NHL, I've been to Nationwide Arena, which was my number 1. My number 2 is PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. I would love to see a Penguins game. My dad and I have talked about it for years. As long as they're not playing the Blue Jackets, yes, I would be willing to root for the Penguins. Because it would be so much fun to see Sidney Crosby, Chris Kunitz, Letang, Sheary, Matt Murray, and the rest. Let's see. Where else? Oh, Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia. Now, this is an arena I've been to for the NBA, as evidenced by the 76ers pennant. However, I have not been there for a Flyers game. And I've heard you do not want to wear a visiting team's colors at a Flyers game because you will just get insults yelled at you left and right. So I would either stay neutral and not root for either team, or I would just root for the Flyers. Let's see. Nationwide, PPG, Wells Fargo, anywhere else for the NHL. Don't really want to go to Bell Center because I don't like the Canadians. Yeah, I think that's about it for the NHL. And for NBA, there's only one that I really... No, two actually. Pepsi Center is number one. I don't know why, but I have a huge desire to go to a Denver Nuggets game and see the Pepsi Center. I don't know why, but I love the city of Denver. I've been to the city of Denver like 2 or 3 times. If I had a choice of where to live, if I couldn't live in Cleveland anymore, Denver would be right up there. And my number 2 choice, my number 2 bucket list arena would by far and away be TD Garden in Boston. The Celtics are such an iconic team. They have so many banners hanging in the rafters, 17 of them to be exact, and I just think it would be a blast.